Today's Sunday School is in partnership with Marigat Gold, 100% natural honey.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to be looking at Daniel. Yeah, so see you in a bit.
Unaweza kataa nyama?
Mimi? I can't say no to food. First of all, what's your favorite food?
Rice, beans, avocado.
Okay.
Guacamole salsa,
Guacamole salsa. Mine is avocado and uji.
Yuck.
It's not yuck.
Avocado and uji at the same time?
Not really. Unakula avocado kwanza alafu. Yeah, so today we're going to look at Daniel and his three friends. Shadrack, Meshack and Abednego. This is my favorite part. Young men in whom there was no blemish, but good looking.
Like me.
Like me. Yeah, like us. But good looking, gifted in all wisdom. Please. And you know we are oozing wisdom. Gifted in all wisdom, possessing knowledge, and quick to understand, who had ability to serve in the king's palace, and whom they might teach the language and literature of the Chaldeans. That's my favorite part. So, Jerusalem is besieged.
Yeah.
And the king instructs the eunuch to look for
very handsome
men
without blemish.
Simply
guys like us.
Guys like us who are good looking, who are quick to understand. And so Daniel and his three friends wakachukuliwa, wakapelekwa kuserve kwa the king's court. And what happens next?
So these guys, they have to be served food like for 10 days. They eat what the king says, but this food has blemish, you see. The food is used to worship idol and all sorts of things that are not godly.
Yeah, true. Because what actually used to happen is walikuwa wanachukua hiyo meat, they sacrifice it to the gods, then the same meat wanaikula.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue.
So Daniel and his friends, they refused the meal and said they'll be eating skuma and spinach.
Vegetables.
Okay, so vegetables throughout.
Managu, bitter herbs.
Cucumbers. Guacamole salsa. Throughout the week. And it's so interesting that after the 10 days, Daniel and his friends looked better, way much better than the other guys who were eating meat and
And it's interesting because when they went to that foreign land, unajua saizi, I don't know, for me, if you go to another place yenye msi akujui, like you have the freedom to do anything you want, you know, because no one knows you, you know. And this is Daniel and his three friends wameenda a foreign land. They're serving in the courts, in the king's court, you know. I think first of all, it's a privilege to serve in the king's court.
Exactly.
And I think God also alikuwa anafanya everything that happened really happened for a reason. So they're serving in the king's court, and the king instructs the cook, you know, the chef,
to cook the best
meal. They actually walikuwa nakula from the king's table, you know. And Daniel and his friends, Daniel says, we are not going to do that. We're not going to sin against God. We're not going to make ourselves impure, you know. So they decide we are not going to eat from the table. Yeah. And they tell the chef, and the chef says, but if the king akijua tu, mimi, my head, nivo imeenda. You know, and Daniel says, you know what? Trust me. Test us for 10 days. Peke yake. And after the 10 days,
maybe the king said that these guys will be eating from my table.
Yes.
And we'll worship the God, the God of Daniel.
Yeah. And after the 10 days, Daniel and his friends are fatter than the rest of the guys. And for me, it's profound because I don't know. For example, when I was in school, every time tulikuwa tunaenda a function in another school, like unajua you have freedom to do whatever you want because it's not your school. Hata mwalimu mwingine akikuona ukimess up, chances are akujui, you know. But if you know kama function kwa shule yenu uko at least uko reserved, unajua kila mtu anakujua. So my question is, my challenge rather to everyone is, if you go to another place, you know, like if you go to a place where no one knows you, you have the chance to compromise. Would you compromise or would you stand with God's word? In God's word rather, you know. And
We
so many
should
times,
strive to stand in God.
yeah, because so many times we are caught in situations where we can compromise if we want to compromise, you know. But it's always good to remember that
God is with us.
God is with us, and He
And-
sees
yeah, He
everything,
sees everything.
you know. And Daniel and his friends are actually rewarded later on. So it's always good to stand firm
Yeah.
on God's word. Yeah. I think my favorite saying in Akwanga, one of my favorite sayings in Akwanga, God made us to stand out, not to fit in. You know, if Daniel and his friends decided, so in a foreign land, so let's just go.
What's it to fit in?
Let's fit in. And it's also good to remember that God will always protect
Exactly.
the people that trust Him and
Serve
follow His commandments and serve Him actually. Sindio? Yeah. So thank you so much. On to our verse of the day.
Yeah, it's from Matthew 6:3. And it says, but more than anything else, put God's work first and do what He wants. Then the other things will be given unto you.
Yeah. So put God's
Work
first,
first.
and everything else will be added unto you.
you.
So that's our challenge to you. Now it's time for our shout out,
Shout-outs.
and we have a shout out to Duncan Munjera. Thank you so much for watching. If you want us to shout you out, please comment down here, and we will definitely shout you out next week.
Yes.
So we'd like to also give a shout out to Marigat Gold for giving us pure natural honey. Thank you so much, and see you next week.
Next week.
Bye bye.